Have you ever experienced a quiet sense of not entirely fitting into this world? Perhaps a very old energy stirs gently within your spirit, a soft impression you sense more than hear, yet it feels deeply familiar. If your birth year falls between 1955 and 1975, the insights I'm about to share with you transcend a typical spiritual discourse. They offer a profound understanding as to why your life might have felt distinct, bearing a greater weight, and yet, paradoxically, imbued with a deeper sense of purpose than you ever fully grasped. Edgar Cayce, recognized as one of history's most insightful spiritual guides, conveyed wisdom concerning souls who choose to arrive during humanity's crucial epochs. These are not just typical existences. Rather, they are journeys with specific purposes. And if you find yourself here, listening in this moment, there is a reason you were subtly guided to this message. Something deep within you retains a memory, even if your conscious awareness has yet to fully retrieve it. Please continue with me until the very end, for what you're about to uncover could finally illuminate those undefinable sensations you have carried throughout your entire life. Before we delve into our story, I kindly invite you to tap the like button and share with us your current location in the world. It's always wonderful to see how many people are tuning in from different corners of the globe. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and activating the notification bell so you'll be sure not to miss any future uploads. Let's take a moment to reflect on your early years. Did you ever have a sense that you perceived things others didn't? Did the external world sometimes feel confined compared to the vastness residing within you? Many individuals born during a particular 2-decade span report encountering this very sensation, an impression of holding something too immense for their physical form, something far too ancient for their chronological age. You weren't mistaken. Those feelings were authentic. This particular generation entered existence during one of the most profound shifts in human consciousness, perfectly situated between the rigid frameworks of previous eras and the emerging energies of what lies ahead. Does this sound familiar to you? You might enter a space and instantly perceive the profound presence of unvoiced sentiments. You meet someone's gaze and instinctively perceive their sorrow before a single word is uttered. You awaken feeling drained, as if laboring all night in dimensions your memory can't quite grasp. These are neither mere coincidences nor indications of frailty. Instead, they are subtle clues guiding you back to your true self and your inherent purpose here. Souls incarnating between 1955 and 1975 did not arrive for conventional lives. They arrived as connectors, as menders, as quiet champions tasked with integrating the collective trauma of past generations while readying the path for future ones. You may have spent years feeling misunderstood, distinct, or overly sensitive for this demanding world. But what if your sensitivity wasn't a defect, but precisely your destined mission? Edgar Cayce revealed certain souls volunteer for the most challenging missions, incarnating during major transitions to anchor new consciousness frequencies on Earth. Such spirits possess what was termed ancient wisdom, a profound understanding stretching far beyond the confines of this one existence. And in this very moment, as you absorb these sounds, an inner stir might begin, a gentle recalling of the path you chose before your birth. The unfolding path ahead could redefine all you believe to be true about your being, yet it holds the promise of true liberation. allow me to share a realization that might resonate deeply within your very essence. That ache you've carried through the years, the weight upon your heart that eludes clear explanation, the sorrow that emerges unbidden. It does not belong to you alone. It was bequeathed to you, like an unseen heritage, transmitted across family lineages and shared human experience. Your spirit absorbed the energetic echoes of conflicts your physical form never engaged in, tyrannies your gaze never beheld, and profound sorrows your inner being never directly underwent. Your generation quietly became an absorbent vessel, drawing in the unaddressed anguish of previous generations. Know that this situation was not accidental. The wisdom of Edgar Cayce recognized this profound truth. Sensitive spirits often bear the initial burdens, sparing others from experiencing similar hardship further down the line. Your designation to carry this specific weight was not meant as retribution, but rather as an impetus for profound change. Your suffering has always held an underlying purpose, even during moments when it felt entirely devoid of meaning. Let's now delve more profoundly into this veiled understanding. For truly comprehending your formative years is fundamental to grasping your life's deeper mission. Reflect on those early stages of your life. Perhaps your early home environment was marked by emotional voids. Parents who were physically there, yet emotionally and spiritually absent. You might have navigated your upbringing amidst inflexible rules, surrounded by a persistent sense of bewilderment, never quite receiving the comforting warmth you so profoundly desired. What many fail to fully grasp, however, is this. This was not the universe acting with harshness towards your spirit. Instead, it was a quiet process of personal cultivation. Every instance of solitude, each time you had to soothe your own spirit, and every night you wept without a soul to hear. These were crucial lessons in self-sufficiency that would eventually bloom into your most profound inner strength. You were prepared to guide others through the dimness because you first found your own way through it, without any support, without any safety nets, relying solely on the gentle light that glowed within your own spirit. If these reflections resonate with you, you may wish to remain connected to our explorations as we gently delve into such profound spiritual insights on an ongoing basis. This is not merely superficial musings. It is a genuine journey into the depths of the soul. And if you are walking this particular path, you might find comfort in staying connected with us. This is precisely why your own development unfolded far more swiftly than those around you. While other young ones indulged in innocent play, you were already shouldering responsibilities meant for older shoulders, already discerning the subtle currents of familial distress, already comprehending realities that ought not to have been yours to bear. Your feelings learned to reside silently within, for the outward expression often felt too risky. And your many questions gathered in the quiet chambers of your mind, as it seemed no one nearby possessed the answers you sought. You navigated challenges that might have overwhelmed many, accomplishing this without erupting or falling apart entirely. In the backdrop of your journey, an unseen influence steered your path, molding you and tempering your spirit through trials. From the crucible of early hardships, numerous observers perceived nothing out of the ordinary, detecting no suffering, for you had become adept at concealing your private experience. Yet, celestial beings, spiritual mentors and elevated powers consistently kept their gaze upon you, They observed each silent tear, recognized every quiet battle, and understood that what appeared to be solitude was, in fact, laying the groundwork for a destiny much grander. The influence of these formative periods echoes throughout the entirety of your being. Your present choices, your manner of supporting others, your ability to empathize deeply with another's distress, all originate from those foundational times when you discovered that persevering required constructing a strong inner sanctuary. Your perspective was sculpted not through effortless circumstances, but through absolute imperative. As you reach this stage in your journey, you may be realizing that every difficulty served as an intentional lesson for your soul. Should this deeply resonate with you, the coming insights will illuminate even more about the revelations meant to unfold in your narrative. There's an act you've performed since childhood, likely unspoken to others, gazing skyward at stars and passing clouds, sensing a reciprocal awareness, not a visual gaze, but a palpable presence, a soothing warmth, a knowing recognition, a feeling of gentle oversight from something immense and benevolent. Many would easily dismiss such experiences as mere fantasy or misconception. But the concealed truth is this: it was neither. It was memory. Your soul recalls a time before this life, before this dense physical existence, when you inhabited finer realms, where connecting with your guides was as effortless as breath itself. A profound connection once existed, immediate and unending. Upon entering this dense three-dimensional world, you felt a deep, unspoken sorrow, an unconscious yearning for that severed link. The sense of solitude that has accompanied you throughout your life isn't merely the absence of human company. Rather, it is a spiritual longing for a place where true isolation was unknown, a place where wisdom was effortlessly shared and your intrinsic purpose was understood beyond doubt. This insight illuminates a vital aspect of your presence in this world. Your soul's journey into this physical form was not a matter of chance, nor was its timing arbitrary within the vast sweep of human history. Instead, you were precisely positioned during one of the most transformative planetary shifts humanity has ever known. Consider the profound developments that unfolded between the years 1955 and 1975. The global landscape at that time found itself poised between two distinct realities. On one side, established powers desperately held onto their inflexible systems, authoritarian perspectives, and governance driven by apprehension. Even as, concurrently, the initial stirrings of an evolving awareness began to take root. The civil rights movement, the stirrings of spiritual quests, the challenging of established norms, the emergence of environmental consciousness. All these significant changes were erupting during the very years you came into being. You belong to what Edgar Cayce termed the bridge generation. Yet, there's a truth about this role that often goes unspoken. As a bridge, you bear the weight of those who traverse you. You are overlooked. People cross over you, offering no recognition, no appreciation, frequently unaware you exist, steadfastly connecting two separate realms. You may have felt forgotten, undervalued, as if your contributions held no significance. But the undeniable reality is that bridges are the most fundamental structures in any landscape. Without your presence, there would be no passage, no evolution, no progression from humanity's past condition to its necessary future. The profound influence of embodying this bridge role has sculpted every choice you have ever made, even those decisions that at the time appear to be working against your own interests. You frequently experienced a sense of not belonging within your own existence, as though you truly had no distinct place. Your disposition was too fine-tuned for the everyday practicalities of the world, yet too firmly anchored in reality for those who sought only purely spiritual paths. Perceptions came to you that others overlooked. You sensed subtle energies that many disregarded, and your dreams often carried profound messages that no one seemed willing to acknowledge. Consequently, you gradually learned to keep these insights to yourself. You refrained from vocalizing your intuitions because people often reacted with unease or suspicion when you did. Your vivid visions were carefully tucked away, as society tended to label you as strange, overly imaginative, or even mentally unstable. Hidden from your outward appearance, you carried a deep awareness that remained unexpressed, navigating aspects of existence that others simply refused to believe were real. Still, through every instance of disapproval, and despite the moments you doubted your own judgment, you persevered. Something within you quietly murmured that the right moment had not yet arrived. It promised that a time would eventually come when your unique endowments would no longer need to be concealed, when the collective consciousness truly grasps what you've perceived all along. Please share. I've always understood below if you've navigated your existence feeling as though you needed consent to express your true self. For the deeper insights into why this period of anticipation was necessary are on the verge of absolute clarity. The most profound truth I am able to impart to you at this moment is the following. Prior to your arrival, even before drawing your initial breath in this earthly existence, your essence made a deliberate choice. Within the ethereal dimension, surrounded by wise guides and the spiritual advisors frequently mentioned by Edgar Cayce, you were presented with a complete overview of what this particular life journey would encompass. You observed the trials, the sorrows that would touch your heart, and the profound instances of solitude. You perceived beforehand the unshed tears you would shed, the occasions when you would experience a sense of being misjudged, and the ache of observing the world cause suffering to those with sensitive hearts. And with full awareness of all these elements, having comprehended the entire breadth of what you were prepared to encounter, you affirmed, yes. This was not a decision born of unawareness or inexperience. Such remarkable courage was truly yours. You embraced this profound mission because you understood a deep truth that most individuals tend to forget the moment they begin their earthly journey. Your mere presence alone possessed the power to alter destinies. This wouldn't be achieved through widespread fame or public recognition, nor by constructing vast empires or attaining what society typically labels as success. Instead, it was simply by existing, by holding a particular frequency of light in a world that desperately yearned for it. This is precisely where many people become unclear about their true life's calling. We have been conditioned to believe that missions are grand, prominent undertakings bathed in the spotlight. We imagine that significant transformation unfolds on public platforms during widely shared moments through immense contributions that everyone can easily measure and commend. However, the subtle reality behind your personal journey is that your genuine mission resides within the small, overlooked moments. It's found in the specific word you gently offered to someone precisely when they were on the verge of surrender. It's present in the comforting embrace you extended, even when you felt utterly drained, yet instinctively knew another soul needed human kindness. And it's also in your attentive silence when someone else was sharing their heart. The genuine attentiveness you offered, rather than simply anticipating your chance to speak. It resides in that glance exchanged across a busy space, assuring another spirit of companionship. Such instances rarely capture public attention. They do not gather a multitude of admirers. They unfold within the silent intervals between each beat of the heart. In those gentle choices to extend kindness when apathy might have been an option. This is the domain where profound transformation takes place, through tiny gestures of affection that resonate across realms beyond our immediate comprehension. Furthermore, there is another phenomenon occurring that you should recognize. Have you ever pondered why you awaken feeling more fatigued than when you initially drifted off to slumber? Why, on certain mornings, you sense as though you've toiled throughout the entire night, even as your physical self remained peacefully in bed. This state is not attributable to sleeplessness or substandard rest. Your spirit functions as an unseen laborer. As your bodily presence reposes, your awareness journeys to different planes of existence, where you persistently pursue your purpose. Through what is known as spirit projection or astral travel, you extend aid to souls adrift, offer solace to those moving between realms, and direct currents of energy that shape our shared awareness. The renowned Edgar Cayce chronicled numerous examples of individuals providing spiritual assistance while in slumber. Indeed, you are one among these dedicated laborers. Your nocturnal visions are not mere haphazard electrical impulses within the brain. Instead, they function as vital assembly points where profound tasks are accomplished. This active engagement is often the reason why deep repose can occasionally prove elusive, and why your physical form may feel a sense of weightiness even after a full 8 hours of slumber. The deeper truth, often unseen, is that your invaluable service does not conclude simply because daylight fades. While your usual perceptions of success and efficiency might suggest insufficient effort during your conscious hours, the reality is you're actively functioning across numerous planes concurrently, offering contributions that extend beyond traditional concepts of accomplishment. Reflect, if you will, on whether this insight clarifies why you've always sensed a weight beyond what meets the eye. For the next thoughts I'm about to convey will further reveal the distinct talents you've been cultivating amidst these experiences. A recurring theme has woven its way through your lineage for many generations, perhaps spanning even centuries. You might recognize fury, inherited like an ancient treasure, apprehension presented as a safeguard, stillness wielded as a means of command, and discord that alters its form, yet never truly vanishes. You've experienced it, haven't you? The profound burden of these passed-down tendencies, seeking to guide you into the identical, worn-out narrative that proved detrimental to your ancestors. Yet, this is what distinguishes you. What makes your path so profoundly significant? You were chosen, quite distinctly, to interrupt these recurring patterns. Edgar Cayce taught that no soul arrives anywhere by chance. Your unique placement in your family line in this specific era was a deliberate choice made by your higher self. You incarnated with one clear directive: to refuse conflict when everyone around you normalized it, to choose courage when fear seemed the sole rational response, and to practice generosity when selfishness was modeled as survival. Every decision you've made to act differently, to simply be different, hasn't just changed your life. It has rewritten your lineage's entire trajectory, stretching both forward and backward through time. Breaking cycles, however, demands a quality most people don't possess. And this is precisely where your unique design becomes evident. You feel everything deeply. You love with an intensity that can sometimes startle others. Tears may well up at commercials, at the beauty of sunsets, or at the quiet thought of someone, somewhere, experiencing pain. You enter a space and instantly perceive its emotional climate, discerning stress and happiness that others entirely overlook. Society has likely told you this is a weakness, that you're too sensitive, too emotional, too much. Yet, the deep truth is your sensitivity marks an evolutionary step forward. Your soul was designed specifically to disrupt cycles of suffering. And to achieve this, you needed to feel deeply enough to recognize these patterns from the outset. Spirits and guides working with awakened souls comprehend a profound truth. The most tender hearts are first to perceive vibrations from higher realms. Your capacity to feel isn't a defect in your inherent design. It is your most refined instrument for navigating both physical and spiritual realms. When you perceive subtle shifts, sense energy changes before they manifest, or intuit trouble before proof emerges, you are tuning into insights from realms beyond the common perception. Insights that remain unseen by most throughout their lives. If these words awaken something profound within your being, consider expressing that connection by gently pressing the like button. It's a simple gesture to let me know this resonated with you, and it also guides other souls who are seeking these very answers to discover their way here. All this time, your physical self has been attempting to communicate these truths. Reflect upon the ailments you've endured, the persistent discomfort, the perplexing symptoms medical professionals couldn't decipher, or the unbidden anxiety that seemed to emerge from nowhere. Beneath the surface of these bodily expressions, your physical self was urgently signaling truths your waking mind chose not to acknowledge. When you disregarded your inner knowing and remained in environments that were not serving you, your body generated discomfort to seek your notice. When you suppressed your authentic voice to maintain harmony, your throat would constrict and your ability to speak clearly diminished. When you took on the emotional burdens of everyone around you, your shoulders would ache and your back would give way. These experiences were never meant as retribution. It was a form of communication. Your physical being serves as a spiritual messenger, translating profound soul-level distress into various symptoms that were impossible to disregard. Even amidst your darkest moments of weariness, discomfort, or overwhelming apprehension, one crucial truth persisted. Your inner light never truly diminished. Instead, it retreated. Indeed, it pulled back to safeguard itself, patiently awaiting circumstances where it could safely emerge without facing attack or reduction. The profound impact of grasping this concept completely transforms how you perceive your struggles and your personal healing journey. This understanding often invites a quiet reflection, perhaps bringing to mind the thought, "My body was speaking. as you begin to view your physical challenges through an entirely new perspective. Because the deep transformation that unfolds when you genuinely listen redirects the entire trajectory of what lies ahead. Edgar Cayce held a powerful way of portraying awakened souls. He described them as lighthouses standing steadfast on rugged coastlines, casting their illuminating beams across immense distances without ever needing to shift from their anchored place. Throughout your existence, you have embodied the role of a guiding beacon, perhaps without ever realizing it. Reflect on those discussions where, subsequently, individuals expressed that your remarks reached them precisely when they were most receptive. Recall instances when others gravitated towards your company, not for direct answers, but because your proximity instilled a sense of security, stability, and optimism within them. Your innate wisdom has steered individuals away from perilous choices, decisions they remain oblivious to, yet narrowly escaped in the quiet moments of their personal journeys. Your presence has subtly altered whole life paths, and often you receive no commendation or even a simple nod of appreciation. This, however, is simply the essence of the work performed by a beacon. Vessels that successfully clear hazardous waters do not invariably pause to express gratitude to the illumination that preserved them. They merely proceed on their voyage, frequently oblivious to the catastrophe they circumvented. Your profound effect does not depend on outward recognition to genuinely exist. Each individual you have influenced takes a fragment of your brightness with them into their own spheres, generating waves of positive change that you may never personally observe, yet are undeniably present. However, there have been periods when your inner luminescence wavered, coming perilously close to full extinguishment. You have found yourself on the brink of surrender, pondering the sensation of quieting all things eternally. To cease sensation, to release concern, to no longer bear this overwhelming burden. During those deepest shadows, when logic itself suggested resignation, an unseen power drew you away from that precipice. It was not a matter of sheer determination. It wasn't even the glimmer of expectation. Instead, it was an essence far more ancient and potent than this solitary existence. Within you resides a fundamental power that Edgar Cayce referred to as ancestral belief. And this holds no connection to religious tenets or specific doctrines. This represents a cellular recollection from previous incarnations, where you similarly strive for luminosity amidst formidable shadows. Your soul holds memories of victories won in past lives, of trials you've already triumphed over, when conditions were far more daunting than today. This profound inner knowing doesn't operate through your conscious mind. It moves past your uncertainties, your apprehensions, your logical assessments of insurmountable predicaments, and simply won't permit you to give up. It is the essence within you that knows, with unwavering conviction, you've endured worse and that your life's purpose is not yet finished. And the actual cause of your profound weariness delves even deeper than we've explored. You've participated in spiritual conflicts your waking mind has no memory of. There are mornings you've awakened with an inexplicable distress tightening in your chest. Moments you felt burdened by an unseen weight. Times you've wept without any logical explanation your intellect could pinpoint. What truly transpires in the background during these moments is your spirit diligently processing energetic conflicts that transpired while you slumbered Your work isn't confined to the astral plane, simply assisting individual souls. You're also actively confronting and transforming deep, challenging energies, clearing essential pathways, and holding protective space against forces that most people don't even believe are real. This is inherently exhausting labor that typically goes unacknowledged in your daily life, precisely because it occurs in dimensions unseen by your physical eyes. As a worker of the invisible realms, your fatigue operates on many levels at once, and ordinary rest doesn't always restore what these complex battles deplete. Perhaps you're beginning to understand that your profound exhaustion has never been mere laziness, but rather compelling evidence of significant work happening across multiple realities. This is because revelations about your true purpose are about to become even more specific and intimately personal. Do you sense what is truly remarkable about your unique journey? While others have been intensely studying for life's many tests, desperately trying to grasp lessons through trial and error, you, it seems, already hold the inherent wisdom to know the answers. This wisdom stems not from intellect, nor from learned texts or instruction, but from a profound inner well. When faced with circumstances that would crumble most individuals, you uncovered a patience you were unaware of possessing. Where treachery might have fostered bitterness, forgiveness arose from an inexplicable core within you. Even when love felt imprudent due to past hurts, you loved regardless, with a depth beyond all rational advice. This isn't mere chance or an inborn gift. Instead, your soul entered this life with its inherent lessons already mastered. Edgar Cayce frequently spoke of how evolved souls retain wisdom from countless prior lives, and your knack for navigating life's toughest trials without prior instruction testifies to this ancient knowing within you. The profound insights of love, patience, acceptance, and forgiveness are not lessons you are experiencing for the first time. You are recalling insights, proficiencies you've mastered in other existences, which your present consciousness is slowly tapping into as necessity arises. The deeper significance behind your intervals of profound stillness unveils yet another facet of this ongoing cultivation. There were spans of time, perhaps even full decades, when you experienced an absolute sense of solitude. Acquaintances naturally drifted away. Personal bonds reached their end. Your loved ones struggled to understand you, and you discovered yourself within periods of isolation that felt like a chastisement or a cosmic neglect. However, what was genuinely unfolding during those tranquil years was the most profound preparation of your entire life. Solitude was not pushing you away. It was rather meticulously shaping you. In that quietude, free from the constant din of external voices and viewpoints, you developed the skill to perceive your own internal compass with remarkable lucidity. This intentional step back from the world's clamor instilled in you an intrinsic fortitude that cannot be cultivated in any other fashion. You came to understand that you could sustain yourself entirely, that your inner bond with something immense was truly enough, and that validation from outside was not required for your own brilliance to glow. Even today, when people surround you, when your agenda becomes full and responsibilities increase, your spirit still yearns for those treasured times of sacred stillness. This isn't a sign of being antisocial or feeling low. It is, in fact, a form of deep wisdom. You comprehend that profound understanding emerges from quietude, that genuine truth speaks softly, and that the most meaningful dialogues unfold within the pauses between reflections. This insight is also why your relationships have taken on such a distinct character compared to what is commonly anticipated. While others pursued companionship for status, for security, or for outward appearances, you were seeking something the superficial world rarely appreciates: a deep recognition of souls. You long to experience authentic connection, rather than watching someone perform a modified version of themselves intended to impress. What you truly needed was unfiltered, honest reality, even when encountering it was challenging. This perspective often brought you deep frustration, for the world abounds with individuals who remain hidden behind carefully built facades, dreading the revelation of their authentic selves. Yet, your steadfast refusal to accept mere surface-level connections ultimately guided you to your kindred spirits. These are those exceptional individuals whose emotions run as deeply as your own, who love with their whole essence, and who do not withdraw when delving into their inner world becomes challenging. These are the individuals who grasp that true intimacy requires vulnerability, that profound transformation occurs in the very spaces we are most reluctant to examine, and that authentic love holds no fear of darkness, understanding that brilliance exists just beyond it. The profound effect of encountering even one or two such spirits redefines your entire experience of what it means to be human. Feel free to share "I have found my people" in the comments section. If you have come to understand that profound quality matters immeasurably more than mere quantity when it comes to the connections that truly nourish your spirit, then what I'm about to share will illuminate why certain individuals entered your life at precisely their destined moment. There exists a distinct feeling of yearning for home that has accompanied you throughout your entire existence, a longing entirely unrelated to any physical location on this earth. You may experience a sense of nostalgia for something you cannot quite name, a deep yearning for a place you do not consciously recall, an ache for a state of being that this material world has never fully provided. Others might have suggested this feeling stems from depression or general dissatisfaction, but the underlying truth is far more profound. This very nostalgia is, in fact, a whisper of memory from other realms of existence where your being resided before this present incarnation. The insightful readings of Edgar Cayce spoke extensively about the soul's intricate journey across various planes of existence. What you're encountering is your awareness recalling dimensions where affection was purer, where tranquility was absolute, where truth remained unveiled by self-importance and apprehension. That profound longing you sense when gazing at the celestial bodies, that feeling of not quite belonging here, that magnetic draw towards something intangible. This is your spirit acknowledging that Earth is not your true origin. And here is a realization many do not grasp. This yearning is not intended to bring you distress. It is the very seed of your homecoming. It functions as your inner guide, directing you back to the spiritual vibrations from which you emerged, reminding you that this dense physical existence is fleeting and that something far more magnificent awaits. Now, I wish to delve further into the indicators that affirm you are resonating at these elevated frequencies, even while embodied in human form. Have you observed How young ones are drawn to you instinctively? How creatures typically timid or agitated find serenity when you're near? These occurrences are not coincidental. Unlike adults, children and animals haven't developed the mental filters that override their inherent insight. They perceive beyond the physical form, directly sensing the energetic signature you carry. Your vibrational frequency registers with them before they process anything else about you. What they are sensing is the pure essence of your soul and the active purpose of your mission. When a child chooses to sit beside you in a crowded room, or a timid animal approaches you instead of retreating, you're receiving confirmation from the most honest judges of spiritual frequency on this planet. This connection is essentially a mark of authenticity, a validation from beings who cannot misrepresent what they perceive, as they haven't yet learned deceit. And then there are those dreams that feel far too vivid to be merely imagination. You often discover yourself within urban landscapes featuring designs entirely new to this existence, speaking in tongues your current intellect has never encountered, and feeling sentiments connected to occurrences distinct from your present reality. Occasionally, you awaken to such a potent sensation of déjà vu that you begin to question if what you are experiencing now is indeed a repetition of moments already lived. These are not simply products of imagination, nor are they arbitrary brain impulses. What you are experiencing is a surfacing of spiritual memory. Fragments from previous incarnations are gently penetrating the subtle veil that usually separates this life from the many others you have lived. Your soul strives to harmonize your present awareness with the profound wisdom accumulated across innumerable past journeys. Beneath the surface of your conscious awareness, a vast collection of past experiences gently seeks to integrate into your present comprehension, providing you with abilities, wisdom, and perceptions that seem to surface from nowhere, yet truly emanate from the profound wellspring of your timeless being. Perhaps you've noticed these occurrences growing more frequent, for this quickening of inner knowing signifies a distinct transition, gently preparing you for the next segment of your life's path. You might enter a space and immediately sense that something isn't quite right, even when all present are smiling and acting as if nothing is amiss. When a person shares an account with you, your physical self responds prior to your intellect being able to discern the veracity or falsehood of their statements. You perceive the density within environments, the tension within gatherings, and the unexpressed sorrow of unfamiliar individuals positioned close by in a queue. This profound sensitivity is something you've likely sought to excuse throughout your entire existence. This characteristic, often perceived by others as being overly dramatic or too intense, is in fact one of your most potent spiritual tools. What truly happens is that your energetic system operates like an exceptionally sophisticated radar, detecting subtle frequencies and vibrations that the consciousness of most people is too dense to register. The deeper truth behind this profound gift is that you were designed to be an instrument of spiritual cleansing. When you step into a room that feels heavy and sense that weight pressing down on you, you're not just noticing the energy, you're actively processing it, transmuting its essence and lightening it for everyone present. This is an exhaustive effort, rarely acknowledged because it unfolds invisibly, yet it profoundly transforms the collective energetic field in ways that truly matter, even when no one considers expressing thanks. And this brings us to something you've undoubtedly observed, yet perhaps never fully grasped. You possess a peculiar magnetism for individuals in distress. Complete strangers in unexpected places, like parking areas, often begin to share their innermost struggles with you without warning. Even colleagues with whom you have only a passing acquaintance may find themselves openly weeping when you are near. Your friends reach out to you specifically during moments of intense vulnerability or extreme emotional strain, frequently mentioning an uncertainty about the precise reason they sought your comfort, simply feeling an inexplicable draw to connect with you. This recurring pattern of attracting souls in need is not a mere accident or unfortunate circumstance. Instead, your energetic presence is actively sending out a unique frequency, a signal of sanctuary and restoration to spirits experiencing difficulty. It's as if you are radiating a guiding light, a silent message proclaiming that succor is accessible, perceivable only on wavelengths tuned by deeply yearning hearts. The effect of this phenomenon means individuals frequently discover you at the exact moment their need is greatest. Irrespective of whether you consciously feel prepared or sufficiently armed to offer assistance, your deepest self is already engaged in the healing process, even as your conscious thoughts diligently strive to determine the appropriate words or actions. Merely, your quiet presence offers a level of comfort and healing far beyond anything spoken words could ever achieve. Edgar Cayce possessed a profound understanding of these unique individuals, whom he referred to as missionaries of love. They are not typically those holding theological qualifications or roles within established religious organizations. They rarely bear grand designations or gather widespread public acclaim. Instead, they dwell peacefully amidst everyday individuals, performing customary work, confronting life's routine challenges, and seeming entirely ordinary to an outside observer. Yet, their influence touches the world in ways that resonate across time, leaving an eternal impact. You embody one of these very missionaries, and your persistent hesitation, your lingering wonder about whether you truly create a positive change, serves as genuine evidence of your sincere nature. Your profound modesty transcends any spiritual recognition you might have of your inherent importance. You do not perceive yourself as extraordinary, for you are too deeply immersed in acts of service to pause and fully grasp the immense scope of the contribution you bring. Humility is vital to your mission, for attachment to being seen as a healer, teacher, or guide invites ego, distorting the purity of what flows through you. Your doubt safeguards your work's integrity. A realization now dawns. If you're realizing perceived weaknesses have always been your greatest strengths, this mindset shift, accepting this truth, unlocks abilities you've yet to access. An unyielding feeling inside won't quiet. A prompting to do more, accomplish more, give more. Not quite guilt, but a deeper internal debt you don't recall incurring, yet know you must pay. You push yourself harder than anyone asks, holding to unreasonably high standards, feeling restless even after doing everything perfectly. Many might describe this feeling you experience as simple anxiety or a drive for perfection. Yet, there lies a deeper, more profound truth beneath the surface. This is not a mere psychological condition. Instead, it echoes a memory held within your soul. Before your spirit descended into this earthly existence, You stood before sacred councils of wisdom and willingly offered your word. You observed the unfolding journey of human awareness and stepped forward, volunteering for particular tasks. You consented to embody certain vibrational energies, to be an anchoring presence during pivotal times, and to offer service in ways your waking mind may not entirely grasp, though your soul holds every detail intact. That deep inner drive you sense is not a flaw or an ailment. It is your higher consciousness gently prompting you, remembering the sacred agreement you made. And deep within the core of your existence, you intuitively understand there is a purpose you arrived here to fulfill. The path you are currently treading is not merely a series of chance encounters or aimless meanderings. It represents the unfolding of solemn pledges made long before the currents of time began to shape your earthly form. Now, prepare for an insight that may profoundly alter your understanding of any feelings of solitude you may have encountered. You have never, not even for a single moment, truly been by yourself. From the very instant you drew your first breath in this form, spiritual guides have been moving alongside you, unseen yet profoundly present, unspoken yet endlessly active. At every turning point where you faced overwhelming choices, they were there, subtly influencing your inner knowing, instilling thoughts that felt entirely yours, yet held wisdom far exceeding your grasp. Through every deep night when utter despair threatened to completely overtake you, they softly murmured hope into your spirit, revealed unexpected avenues ahead, sent you signals through melodies playing on the radio, through unfamiliar individuals who spoke precisely what you needed to hear, and through events that aligned too flawlessly to be mere chance. The challenge isn't that they ever departed from your side. Instead, it's that somewhere on your journey, you ceased perceiving with the same openness you embraced as a child. The constant clamor of the world, the painful experiences, the accumulating disappointments. These built protective barriers around your inherent receptivity. But those steadfast guides never once left their positions. These presences remain with you at this very moment, patiently awaiting your recollection of how to perceive them, to sense their nearness, and to embrace the gentle insights that emerge quietly, unlike loud commands. In the background of every significant choice you've encountered, unseen influences have softly directed you toward your most elevated destiny. Let us now delve further into an understanding that will entirely transform your perception of your own being. You might believe you are merely an individual navigating life's challenges, seeking to comprehend your purpose, and hoping your actions hold significance. Yet, the truth extends far beyond such a limited view. You embody the fulfillment of heartfelt pleas uttered many generations before your arrival. Your forebears, those who endured conflict, scarcity, and profound bereavements that left them broken, yearned for restoration. They understood that they would not witness this healing in their own lifetime. They implored the cosmos to send an individual capable of dissolving ancient cycles, one who could transmute suffering into a source of beauty. And the universe fulfilled that request by sending forth your grandparents. Within the spiritual dimension, your soul's guides, those who have journeyed with you through countless incarnations, do more than simply observe your path. They are dedicated advocates for your triumph, for they grasp a profound truth that you're only just beginning to comprehend. Your inner radiance, even when it seems faint, even when self-doubt suggests you're faltering, remains a beacon strong enough to kindle inspiration through ages yet to come. The influence you emanate reaches both into the past and onward into the future simultaneously, mending ancestral lines and shaping potential for spirits who have not yet come into physical form. Consider affirming to yourself, I am fulfilling this sacred promise. If you're sensing the immense importance and the grace of perceiving yourself as part of a design far greater than your individual journey, for the insights that follow will illuminate precisely how to embrace this hallowed calling more completely. Gaze deeply into your own eyes at a moment when you are undisturbed. Truly perceive. You will discover a wisdom that transcends time within them, a presence that has observed experiences far beyond what this current incarnation could encompass. The deep perception residing within you isn't merely a contemporary spiritual fashion or a put-on identity. Instead, it's a lingering echo from bygone eras, a time when people dwelt more intimately with the natural world, when inner wisdom guided decisions before pure intellect, and when the unseen realms were recognized as equally valid as the physical. This ancient understanding manifests within you, revealed in your habit of pausing before you speak, allowing you to gauge the emotional atmosphere of a space, and in your capacity to detect energetic shifts before any outward alteration occurs, contributing to your inclination towards quietness. This isn't due to a lack of words, but rather because you are attuned to subtle vibrations that often escape the awareness of others. Your gift for sensing something intuitively before fully comprehending it, for knowing truths before any evidence emerges, indicates that your very soul recollects an age when such knowing was commonplace. It was a period when everyone functioned in this manner, prior to the world instructing individuals to place their faith solely in what could be quantified and logically accounted for. And this profound recollection has awakened you to a fundamental truth that remains hidden from the greater part of humankind. While countless individuals tirelessly pursue outward symbols of accomplishment, amassing accolades and material possessions as though these might alleviate an inner void, you have already moved beyond that particular misconception. You understand, at a fundamental level, that your purpose here isn't for personal benefit or individual acclaim. Your mission holds a significance far greater than anything the world would celebrate. You are present to assist humanity through a profound period of change, to stand as a witness during one of the most momentous shifts in global consciousness ever encountered. This entails cultivating seeds of hope in the deepest shadows, extending love to those who may never reciprocate it, and maintaining your resolve when everything around you appears to be collapsing. The profound impact of this endeavor won't be recorded on resumes or in bank statements. It resonates within dimensions that most people fail to acknowledge. Yet, it is actively shaping the course of human evolution in ways that will only become evident many generations from now. Let's delve deeper into how you practically approach this mission, for it demands a trust that goes against what modern society often emphasizes. Your inner knowing has truly become your most dependable guide, hasn't it? So often, logic has pointed strongly in one direction, when every sensible person suggested a specific action and all evidence indicated a particular choice. Yet something within you softly disagreed. You've discovered, sometimes through difficult experiences, that following that quiet hint, honoring that mysterious insight, always leads you right where you belong. Even when the path seems unclear, that subtle shiver when something feels wrong, that quick certainty without any proof, that deep feeling you can't explain to anyone, not even yourself. These are transmissions from the spiritual realm, direct insights delivered by benevolent guides who perceive a wider panorama your limited human awareness cannot grasp. This sacred link to elevated guidance is what secures your stability, even when turmoil erupts all around you. While others may succumb to worry and seek external remedies, you can access an intrinsic steadiness that arises from knowing you are being directed by forces far more sagacious than your individual intellect. The profound evolution that unfolds when you fully embrace this internal compass reshapes every dimension of how you navigate through life. Consider gently acknowledging, "I trust what I feel." If you have arrived at a point where you respect your intuitive knowing, even when you cannot articulate it to others, because forthcoming insights on how to fortify and illuminate this vital connection are about to become wonderfully practical and immediately supportive. A hallowed inner sanctuary resides within you, existing beyond the din of daily living, beyond its urgent claims and diversions, and even beyond the restless currents of your own thoughts. Edgar Cayce called it the inner temple. And once you learn to access it, everything truly changes. This is no mere metaphor or poetic phrase. It is an actual dimensional space within your awareness where deep stillness dwells. And in that deep quietude, your spiritual mentors communicate without needing words. When you withdraw into that space, even momentarily, you find a solace no human dialogue could impart. Guidance that makes impossible choices clear, and bravery sourced from a depth beyond personal resolve. Individuals who discover this internal sanctuary often carry a distinct and unshakable peace. The world might be in chaos around them, with crises erupting on every side, yet they remain centered, knowing how to drop into that temple where timeless truths dwell. They understand that everything occurring on the surface is fleeting, that all storms pass, and what appears catastrophic today will eventually transform. This inner understanding does not arise from mere positive thinking or a refusal to face reality. It emerges from a direct connection to the eternal perspective that dwells within that revered inner sanctuary. And here is a lovely truth that often passes unacknowledged. Not everyone prays while kneeling, with hands clasped and uttering pre-arranged words. Some souls express their devotion through their actions, transforming everyday service into a living dialogue with the divine. When you care for your elderly parents with enduring patience, even when profound exhaustion threatens to break your spirit, that is prayer. When you address your children's needs with attentive presence, even as your own requirements silently cry out for attention, that too is prayer. When you offer sustenance to the stray animals in your neighborhood, comfort a dear friend navigating a difficult period, or show up for those who lack the means to repay your kindness, all of this is worship in its most unadulterated form. The profound realization underpinning this style of spirituality is that its validity does not depend on an audience or any form of external recognition. Affection offered without seeking acclaim, assistance rendered without anticipating acknowledgement, compassion extended generously, unconcerned with recompense. These acts represent some of the highest manifestations of an enlightened spirit. Beneath the surface of seemingly simple acts of goodwill, you are, in truth, performing deep spiritual work that gathers meaning throughout your many existences. Let us now delve further into a subject that likely still brings a pang of sadness to your thoughts. You once clung to aspirations, to clear pictures of how your journey was meant to unfold, to pathways you yearned to enter, only to find them abruptly closed off. Perhaps it concerned a connection you felt sure was destined. Perhaps it was a professional calling that appeared ideal, yet never came to fruition. Or perhaps it involved relocating to a new place, pursuing a creative endeavor, or an unexpected chance that disappeared just as it arrived. It's likely you've reflected upon what went amiss, pondered if you lacked merit, or felt as though you had fallen short in some way. Now, consider a profound realization that reframes your entire perception of those inaccessible pathways. They were not moments of dismissal, but rather acts of profound safekeeping. A vaster awareness, overseeing your journey, perceived what remained hidden from your view. That the very thing you yearned for so intensely might have ultimately become a constraint, impeding your expansion, diverting you from your authentic calling, and perhaps even dimming the unique radiance you were destined to emanate. Within the quiet space created by those perceived letdowns, an alternative course was being gently charted, one profoundly more synchronized with the true purpose for which your soul embarked upon this particular earthly embodiment. Embracing this perspective transforms any sense of regret into a deep gratitude, as you begin to develop a quiet confidence that what doesn't come to pass is simply clearing the way for what is truly intended to gracefully reveal itself. Reflect on typing, "The no was protection," below, if you find yourself now viewing past instances of being turned away and pathways that remained shut as acts of benevolent intervention rather than personal missteps. Understanding this recurring theme illuminates a vital truth concerning the exactitude with which your journey unfolds, guiding you toward your ultimate purpose. Within you reside hidden marks invisible to others, injuries that mended in solitude, unobserved and unsupported. Deep within your spirit, narratives are inscribed, tales you've never uttered verbally. Moments of such deep significance or sorrow that your only confidant has been the sky above. Through quiet supplications in the stillness of your most challenging evenings, yet these unseen impressions are not indicators of harm. Rather, they are the unique imprints of your very being. They are evidence of internal struggles, confronted and overcome, testament to a life experienced with a profundity that many may never fully grasp. Every single mark signifies a juncture where you might have grown entirely unyielding, where you could have sealed off your affections permanently, or opted for resentment instead of development. But you chose otherwise. You traversed through immense hardship and yet miraculously preserved your tenderness in essential ways, maintaining your ability to give and receive affection, even in instances where love itself had caused you pain. The deeper insight gleaned from these past wounds is that they've equipped you to compassionately support others in their suffering, to intuitively grasp anguish without explicit elaboration, and to extend solace born from personal journey, not merely abstract sympathy. Despite every hardship you've navigated, every devastating blow that seemed poised to break you, a single constant stood firm. There came times when connections faded, financial stability wavered, vitality diminished, and the path ahead grew unclear. Nearly every concrete anchor was removed. Yet an inner conviction endured. This wasn't a belief system tied to ritual or doctrine, but rather something far more intrinsic. This profound inner knowing is what one might call soul faith, precisely as Edgar Cayce articulated it. A deep certainty that holds even when no external facts lend it credence. It was the impetus that propelled you onward even when your destination was obscured. It was the strength that allowed you to ascend after tumbles that might have forever grounded you. This inner wisdom empowered you to find your voice, even when sorrow constricted your throat and your spirit felt broken. This profound certainty resides within you because your essence has already perceived beyond the ordinary limits, has observed the unseen workings of existence, and has personally known that awareness persists beyond the body's end. It is impossible to erase the visions your soul has gathered over countless lives, and this timeless understanding upholds you during moments of current challenge. Let us now delve further into the profound effect you create simply by inhabiting various environments. There is a distinct characteristic found in specific individuals, which is entirely separate from outward beauty or an engaging demeanor. It is your very presence. When you enter a space filled with palpable tension, nearly instantly, the prevailing mood begins to transform. Those present may not consciously grasp the shift, yet they find themselves inhaling with more ease. Their voices soften subtly, and their guarded stances begin to relax. This remarkable effect is not something you achieve through deliberate exertion or practiced methods. It is your vibrant essence that instinctively ushers in tranquility where disharmony once existed. The energetic space around you functions as a purifier, dissolving dense vibrations. Your spoken words, even during simple conversations, carry a resonance that calms nervous systems. You are truly what one might call an unspoken restorer, someone who mends the world's wounds not through grand sudden interventions, but by the steady, consistent emanation of a refined frequency. Unseen within ordinary daily life, you practice a form of healing no medical facility delivers and a restorative art that no formal education grants. And now, the culmination of all these elements is arriving. At this precise juncture in your existence, a transformation is taking place. The long-standing uncertainty that troubled you for a considerable period is starting to dissipate, gaining clarity. What once felt like arbitrary or insignificant fragments of your personal story are now spontaneously assembling into a meaningful design. The subtle signals you once brushed aside are now too prominent to disregard. The inner calling you've sensed but found difficult to articulate is now intensifying to a point where you can no longer pretend you don't perceive it. This marks your unique moment of profound awakening. It's when your very essence ceases to seek outside validation and begins insisting that you wholeheartedly embrace the life you are truly meant to live. The overarching design that has guided your entire journey observes you with boundless love, devoid of judgment. It patiently awaits your conscious recognition of the magnificent scope of what you are capable of becoming and the transformative role you are destined to fulfill. If you feel an internal click, a sense of preparedness emerging within you that was absent before, Simply acknowledge that feeling now. For what lies ahead involves integrating all you have absorbed and at last stepping completely into the significant role you were born to embody. If you have journeyed with these reflections until this point, there is something crucial I wish for you to understand. Your presence here is no mere coincidence. Among all the countless videos you could have chosen to watch at this very moment, amidst all the competing distractions vying for your focus, you chose to remain here. This suggests to me that your inner self recognized a truth within these words, something essential it truly needed to hear. If this message resonated deeply with you, if parts of it felt as though they were crafted specifically for your personal journey, please consider leaving a comment below and simply type, "This message was meant for me." I personally read each and every response. There is a profound power in openly acknowledging your awakening, in allowing the universe to perceive your readiness to embrace the path that is gently calling to you. And if you found genuine value in the insights we explored together today, I would be truly grateful if you would gently tap that like button. It is a small action, yet it significantly helps this material reach other spirits who are diligently seeking these very answers, especially those born between the years 1955 and 1975, who long to remember their authentic selves and the true reason for their presence here. If you haven't yet, be sure to join this channel as we regularly explore profound spiritual insights. This isn't superficial content, it's soul's work. And if you're on this path, you'll want to continue this journey with us. A video awaits right here, delving deeper into understanding your spiritual gifts and fully activating them in daily life. Simply click and join me there. Your awakening is just commencing, and I'll be here, journeying alongside you. Until our next meeting, remember, your light holds greater importance than you know.